Welcome to the School of the Lost Tribes. Your charity helps generate the lessons needed to seal the chosen before the destruction. Will the nations be saved from Yahweh's wrath just because they believe in Jesus Christ? No. Isaiah 34, 1-3. Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. For dummies, what this means in plain words. 1. Come near, ye nations. This warning is not private. Yahweh is not speaking to one city or one small group here. He calls nations, peoples, the whole earth, the whole world. In dummies language, everybody needs to hear this because everybody is involved. 2. Indignation upon all nations. Wrath doesn't get canceled by talk. The text does not say, "My wrath is on all nations except the ones who claim a title." ITSOYS, upon all nations. In dummies language, you can't hide behind religious labels if your nation and your life are still built on wickedness. 3. His fury upon all their armies. Power structures get judged. Yahweh aiming at the machines of oppression. Armies, systems, force, violence, empire pride. In dummies language, it's not just people, it's the whole wicked power setup that gets cut down. 4. The graphic language equals real judgment, not a poem. The Bible uses hard words here, slain, stink, blood, to show this is not a spiritual metaphor only. It's a warning about real consequences when Yahweh moves in judgment. In dummies language, when Yahweh says, "I'm done," the earth feels it. So what about believing in Jesus Christ? Isaiah 34, 1-3 shows a big rule. Claiming faith does not automatically shield nations from wrath if they're still walking in violence, pride, and oppression. In dummies language, mouth belief without submission and righteousness is just talk. If a nation says we believe, but still loves war, lies, blood, and idols, Isaiah 34 says wrath is still coming. Final for dummies takeaway. Yahweh called all nations to listen. Yahweh said his wrath is on all nations, not just some. Religious claims don't overrule prophetic judgment. When Yahweh judges, it hits real systems and real power. Does Yahweh have a chosen people? Yes, and he said it out loud. First, hear the scripture. And what one nation in the earth is like thy people, even like Israel, whom God went to redeem for a people to himself, and to make him a name, and to do for you great things and terrible for thy land, before thy people, which thou redeemedst to thee from Egypt, from the nations and their gods. For thou hast confirmed to thyself thy people Israel to be a people unto thee forever, and thou, Lord, art become their God. Now let's break that down. 1. What one nation is like thy people, even like Israel. This is a direct statement that Israel is not just one of many. The verse is basically saying, name another nation that got treated like this. And the answer is, none. For dummies, Israel isn't a random crowd. Israel is a specific nation with a specific covenant history. The Bible isn't shy about it. 2. Whom God went to redeem for a people to himself. This is covenant language. Redeem means Yahweh claimed Israel. He rescued, purchased, and marked them as his own. For dummies, Yahweh didn't just help Israel out. He took Israel home as his people. 3. To make him a name. Yahweh used Israel to establish his reputation in the earth, his name, his power, his authority, his holiness. For dummies, Israel is not just a nation. Israel is a billboard for Yahweh's name. When Israel rises, the world learns who runs creation. 4. To do for you great things and terrible. This line is important because it shows both sides, mercy and judgment. Great things equals deliverance, provision, miracles, protection. Terrible equals frightening acts of judgment against enemies and against Israel when Israel rebels. For dummies, Yahweh's love isn't soft, it's powerful, it saves, and it also corrects. 5. Before thy people, from Egypt, from the nations and their gods. This is the Exodus reminder. Israel's identity is tied to being pulled out of captivity and separated from the nations and their idols. For dummies, Israel's story is not blend in, it's come out. When Israel starts copying the nations, Israel forgets who redeemed them. 6. Thou hast confirmed, Israel, to be a people unto thee forever. This is the permanent stamp, not temporary, not until Rome, not until a church shows up, not until somebody rebrands it. Forever means Yahweh is saying, Israel remains his people. For dummies, covenant identity doesn't get canceled because Israel gets scattered. Scattering is discipline, not deletion. 7. And thou, Lord, art become their God. This is relationship language. Yahweh isn't just a distant ruler. He is Israel's God in covenant. For dummies, Israel isn't just people who like Yahweh. Israel is the people Yahweh tied himself to by promise. The wake-up message to the scattered tribes. Scattered sons of Jacob, if you ever wondered whether the Bible supports chosen people language, this passage answers it clean. It says, Israel is unique among the nations. Israel was redeemed to belong to Yahweh. Israel exists to carry Yahweh's name. Israel's history includes both great deliverance and terrible judgment. Israel was separated from the nations and their gods. Israel was confirmed as Yahweh's people forever. So the real question is not, are we chosen? The real question is, are we living like it? Because chosen people with covenant law who live like the nations will still get corrected like covenant people. Yahweh Shai, the king who came dressed like a servant. Some people hear Messiah and picture a man who shows up demanding a crown, flexing power, and crushing everything in sight. But Yahweh's way is sharper than that. He sent Yahweh Shai first as a servant, because the only rulers Yahweh trusts with a kingdom are the ones who can carry a towel before they carry a throne. That's why the scripture says his life fulfilled the words about the Lord's servant. It wasn't random. It wasn't a nice personality. It was prophecy walking around in sandals. The servant is chosen, and the servant has a mission. You can't claim the Messiah and ignore the job description. The book shows him as the one who serves Yahweh's purpose, not his own ego. It says, Behold my servant, whom I have chosen. I will put my spirit upon him. A bruised reed shall he not break. That's the tone of Yahweh's servant, strong but controlled, powerful but not abusive, corrective but not unstable. He doesn't need to scream to prove authority, because his authority comes from Yahweh. For dummies, real power doesn't have to act insecure. The servant heals because he carries the people. The Messiah didn't come only talking big words. He came carrying damage, carrying sickness, shame, and captivity scars. It says, Himself took our infirmities and bare our sicknesses. That's servant work. That's not the attitude of a man who's obsessed with being celebrated. That's the attitude of a man sent to repair what sin and oppression broke. For dummies, the true servant doesn't just point at pain, he helps lift it. The servant pays, he doesn't just preach. A lot of people want to lead until leadership costs something. Yahweh Shai proved his leadership by paying a price. It says, "The Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister, and to give his life a ransom for many." A ransom means somebody was trapped, owned, bound, and freedom required payment. So Yahweh Shai didn't just tell Israel, "Be free." He moved like a servant and served freedom into existence. For dummies, talk is cheap. Ransom isn't. The servant seals the covenant with blood. Yahweh's covenant is not built on vibes. It's built on truth, law, and a real sacrifice. It says, "This is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many." So Yahweh Shai isn't a mascot. He's not a church logo. He's the mediator of covenant repair, especially for the scattered and broken house. For dummies, you don't get covenant benefits while disrespecting covenant terms. The servant stays silent when ego wants to fight. Here's one that exposes fake, strong men. When accusations came, the Messiah didn't jump into emotional rage to win the moment. It says he answered nothing while false charges flew. That's servant maturity. Sometimes silence is not weakness. Sometimes it's judgment. Sometimes it's control. Sometimes it's the servant refusing to step out of Yahweh's script just to satisfy human drama. For dummies, every battle you can fight isn't your battle to fight. The servant is connected to the whole prophetic storyline. The Messiah didn't appear like a random character. He fits the whole pattern: restoration, sacrifice, and witness. It says, "Elias verily cometh first, and restoreth all things." It says, "Behold the Lamb of God, which taketh away the sin of the world." And it even says the people's disbelief was already spoken of in prophecy. "Lord, who hath believed our report?" For dummies, the Messiah isn't an invention. He's the missing puzzle piece. Why this matters to the sons of Jacob? Your calling is servant leadership. Now bring it home, scribe. If Yahweh Shai, the greatest leader, walked as a servant, then what does that say about the sons of Jacob who want to lead families, camps, communities, and nations? It means you don't get to call yourself a leader while acting like a tyrant. You don't get to shout king while refusing discipline. You don't get to claim priest while living for lust, money, and ego. Yahweh is building messiahs in a smaller sense: deliverers, protectors, guides for households, and kin. But those men only stay useful if they copy the pattern of Yahweh Shai. Serve first. Obey Yahweh's will. Carry the people. Keep covenant truth. Control the mouth. Endure suffering without turning wicked. For dummies, if you can't serve like him, you can't reign under him. Final warning and final hope. This is the rebuke and the comfort at the same time. Yahweh did not send Yahweh Shai to create lazy disciples. He sent him to create servant kings, men with backbone and humility, men who can endure, men who don't fold when it's hard, and don't become devils when they get authority. So if a man is claiming chosen but hates servanthood, he's not following Yahweh Shai. He's following his pride. But if you learn the servant way, if you endure, obey, and carry truth, then you're lining up with the Messiah's own life, and that's the safest alignment on earth. Shalom to the students of the Lost Tribes. Please support this work on Patreon and request a personal commissioned video lesson. A lesson can be produced for you on the topic you want, with scriptural breakdown and understanding. By supporting this work, you help build and strengthen the ministry. Your support helps with the time, study, editing, and materials needed to produce these teachings. Support the ministry. Request your lesson. Grow in knowledge. Patreon. Patreon.com/C/School of the Lost Tribes. Student, you have no excuse not to study. The Most High has called you, so do not ignore his call. If you do, you may lose the opportunity for salvation from captivity. Email me at schoolofthelosttribes@gmail.com, and I will answer your questions and send you a lesson on the subject. Shalom. Those who follow the covenant of charity and support the teacher of Yahweh are encouraged to give freely. Please donate. My duty is to compel the descendants of the lost tribes to study and to endure unto the end. You must study, because if you do not study, you will not know Yahweh. Study and worship are the keys to the knowledge of Yahweh, by which the servants of God are sealed in their foreheads before destruction comes. Without that knowledge, you will lose salvation. Sign up by email at schoolofthelosttribes@gmail.com. WhatsApp classes are available. Dear student, I write to you in sincerity and with concern for your walk. If you do not have a true teacher to serve under, you will not gain the full mystery of the kingdom of heaven. A man cannot come into deep understanding by his own pride, nor by tasting from many tables. The true knowledge of Yahweh is learned through order, humility, service, consistency, and charity toward the truth. If you eat from the table of Yahweh, that means you must learn from the teacher he has set over you. But if you are not consistent in charity toward that knowledge, then it shows that you never truly invested in Yah. Instead, you invested in worldly knowledge, worldly approval, and worldly gain. Because of that, the true knowledge of Christ can be removed from you, and you can fall back into spiritual sleep and be cast out. If you are ashamed to promote this truth, or ashamed to be known as an Israelite, then you are not fit to carry this message. What is hidden in your heart will be exposed. The truth is not for the ashamed, nor for those who want the world's acceptance more than Yahweh's approval. If you are afraid of death, afraid of suffering, or afraid of losing your life for the truth, then you are not yet standing in the courage Christ requires. Christ does not call men to cowardice, but to faithfulness. The fearful draw back, but the true disciple stands firm. To shrink back from the truth is to place yourself against the will of God. Therefore, wake up, be steadfast, be faithful, invest in Yahweh, not in this world. Hold fast to the knowledge given to you, walk in charity, remain under true teaching, and do not let the mystery of the kingdom slip from your hands. Only those who endure, who are loyal, and who are not ashamed will remain. You no longer have an excuse. If you're not planning to teach your family and your people, don't buy this book. This is not a book of personal opinion. It is a precision tool, crafted from the words of Yahweh, for one nation only, the scattered tribes of the children of Jacob. For generations, the truth of who we are has been buried beneath the weight of deception. False doctrines have sold a universal message that never belonged to the other nations, stripping the covenants of their rightful heirs and misleading the lost sheep of the house of Israel. This book is not the message. It is the delivery system. Like a box of sharpened blades, every page is designed to cut through the lies that have enslaved our people in spiritual bondage. This is for those who have ears to hear and whose bloodline traces back to the patriarchs. The scribe is not the author. Yahweh is. These are his words, preserved and compiled for his chosen. Go to Amazon, get it, use it, teach your household, teach your people. The blades are ready. The knife you need, crafted for your endurance and trials from the Most High, is almost here. This tool is forged to cut through the deceptions that have smothered the truth for generations, preparing you for sealing before the destruction. Title: The Curse of the Lost Tribes, for the Deaf, Dumb, and Blind Israelites, by Scribe of the Most High. Not a commentary, not a sermon. This is a scriptural toolbox, crafted for the lost sheep of Israel, those judged, scattered, and blinded by false doctrines. Christianity taught you lies. This book gives you the blades of truth to tear them down. Compiled by a scribe, authored by Yahweh, the God of Israel. Built for one people only, the descendants of Jacob. Use this tool, wake up, return, your time is near.